Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. And we're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. Today being the second week before Advent, for Wednesday, let's take a look at the lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from the Book of Lamentations. Now, the Lamentations, written by Jeremiah the prophet, are a kind of a long poem of woe, as Lamentations are, about the destruction of Jerusalem. The fact is that the people of first Israel, the 10 northern tribes, and then the 2 southern tribes eventually, will go apostate. They will deviate from the teachings of the covenant, and that God has to mete out the just punishment of them being removed from the promised land until they can be purified and come back to the practice of the faith. And so these are the lamentations of Jerusalem, of Jeremiah, about the destruction of the covenant, the destruction of Jerusalem. Lamentations chapter 2, beginning at verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down his wrath in the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom, and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoureth round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. The Lord was as an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. He hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places in the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feasts and the Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. The Lord hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord, as in the day of a solemn feast. The Lord hath purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languisheth together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. That last part is just so kind of telling it, the way it's written, right? That the elders are sitting on the ground, and they put dust and they've put on sackcloth, a sign of repentance and mourning. And even the virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads. This idea that they are just so stunned at all that's happening. And yet they know that God is involved in it. God is allowing it to happen through the outside invaders because of the just punishment of their sin. The good news is God doesn't abandon them, right? They're lamenting over getting what they've deserved. But God will purify his people. He won't forget his people, and will eventually restore them back in the next generation. So today's Wednesday, 12:15 Holy Communion, 4 o'clock evening prayer. Hope you can join us in person here at St. John's. If not, pray with us on the live stream. And may you have a wonderful Wednesday full of blessings.